people's house. Big Zeus. It's the people's house. Big Zeus. Pull up to the gate, 1600 on the map. Supposed to be the people's house, I make it like a trap. Marble floors and chandeliers, I'm balling through the wall. Power through the people, yeah, I gotta make that call. Traveling for the team, red and white and blue, that's me. Voices on the block, I'm breaking through, I got the keys. I'm in the lobby, yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite. Signing for the fam, yeah, you know my game strong. Freedom is the banner and I got my chains on. Secret Service watching sniper sitting on the roof. Truth is hitting hard, I bury you inside the booth. Founding father's vision, yeah, I'm flexing with this cash. Big pharma, big tech, turn these dreams to bag. I'm the voice of the hood, trying to come and storm the gates. Balance in my hands, but the system's overweight. They painted white, yeah, but the stains running deep. Promise they selling it, but you know it ain't coming cheap. Legends walk these rooms, Lincoln, MLK, now it's photo ops, power plays all day. I'm trapping for the vote. Yeah, Big Zeus, it's the people's house. Big Zeus, powers in the air. Big Zeus, we knocking on the door. Big Zeus, we wanna hear your soul. Yeah, yeah. Who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke. People, them players, yeah, y'all think this is a joke. Take it back and write the code. 1600, got your soul. Put my portrait on the wall. They staring at me like I'm cold. Greatest story ever told. I will never ever fold. I'm trapping out the West Wing, doing deals all in the dark. Make your dreams come true. All I need is a spark. Red phone ringing, but you don't know who is on my line. Got the Constitution jumping, yeah, you know I'm so divine. No stains on my kicks and the rally outside, and the gates is locked. This power never divides. Sitting for the block, head buses make them wanna fight. 1600, do it all day, all night. The people's house is a trap. Got the power, get it back. Money talk loud, time to clap. Fight for the keys, that's a fact. It's a rap, I'ma bring it back. In the people's house, powers in the air. It's the people's house, we knocking on your door. It's the people's house, we wanna hear your soul.
Alright, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this show started. You know exactly why we came to here. We don't got much time to do it. Let's go.
Yeah. I feel like I'm stuck in a cycle.
My lord, we got a lot to do.
It's like I'm stuck in time.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to
It's
this
like a curse.
Thunderdome. Alright,
And I can't escape it.
let's go.
It's like deja vu.
Good morning, Lisa.
It's me, Zeus.
Deja vu when I'm running up these racks. I'm like the Terminator screaming, I'll be back. Deja vu when I first class. It's like every week I gotta take out the trash.
Good morning,
I'm on
Tiffany,
top
for the
of my
people.
game, head of the class. You can tell that I made it, look at my grass. Cars in the garage with tanks full of gas. I play the game so raw, I won't finish last. Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it.
This is how it's supposed to happen when you're rich and famous. The algorithm turned me to a maniac. I guess we going viral cause my zodiac. I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Let's go.
Benjamin Franklin is my best.
Hey.
And if they use my ex, that mean they left me.
They don't get replies if they text me.
I failed with my chest
Don't
cause
do
I
it.
mean it.
Got a lot of confidence and
I'm conceited.
well, they say I am.
Call me the master with a new whip. I'ma
Here
take
goes.
off in a
It always does the
spaceship.
same.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone into Zeus's live in a couple of days. That shit was radical.
Very radical.
It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
Oh,
It's like deja vu.
it always stings. It always stings when I.
It's
It
like
always
deja vu.
stings, ladies and gentlemen. Doesn't it sting? All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. I'm your host. I'm your pilot, and you know once again why we are here. But before we get started, let's take care of some very important housekeeping items. For those of you who do not know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or some like to say Triple H. Why do they call me Triple H? Well, it's quite simple. The first H is because I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media, hands down. All right, W. Chris for the subscription. The second H as well. because I'm humble. Listen, if I get it wrong, I will be the first to apologize, all right? But here's the rub. Here's the deal. Just because your feelings are hurt, it does not mean Big Zeus owes you an apology. Most likely, it means what? You need to sit your special behind down and listen to this special broadcast. All right, and then the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, which we all know is honestly one of the most important H's. It's because I am and will always remain the most handsome. Right, Val? Right? All right, and many of you know exactly why we are here. We are here today because obviously we have to save our great country from the evil clutches of you-know-who, Donald J. Trump and his legion of supporters out there, all right? Is there anyone out there that still supports Donald Trump despite seeing what's going on? Anyone out there still what I call swallowing the pill and trying to peacefully cross over into the afterlife? You know what I mean, Maribel, right? Anybody out there still supporting Donald Trump? Because I want to make sure I give you a big PSA announcement, PSA, public service announcement. That means I got to give you a heads up, because what I don't want people doing is getting worked up and getting all out of their body and doing nasty things and showing the world how disgusting of a person you are, simply because I get up here and I tell the truth. So if you do not want Big Zeus to ruin your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and everything in between, right? East Texas, you know, you show up every day on time. I got to give it to you. For somebody that supports Donald Trump, East Texas, you sure do an excellent job showing up on time to this show. So what that tells me, honestly, East Texas, is that when you end up meeting your maker, you know, you have to get judged. You won't be able to tell him, I didn't know. You won't be able to say, oh, I didn't know Donald Trump was a bad person, because you know what they're going to do? They're going to hit play on the lives that you attended, and they're going to go, no, you knew Donald Trump was corrupt, and you still supported him. W. Zeus in the chat. I just cooked you, Texas. So if you do not want to be cooked like I just did East Texas, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to leave this live, because it's going to get very, very uncomfortable for you, all right? But get this, you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time,
Mike?
Very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
The doors to the Thunderdome have officially closed. So if you're inside of the Thunderdome, you've done it at your own risk. All right. And actually, it's the Thunderdome. Anything might happen. Left side of the aisle, right side of the aisle. We saw what happened earlier this week. But at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. W. Zeus. If you're not ready, if you're not adult enough to have serious if you're not adult enough to have conversations about politics, then yeah, this might not be the place for you. All right. But if you are, then this will be lovely. Now, what I wanted to do, ladies and gentlemen, was I want to ask the Trump supporters to just go along with me once again on this journey. I did it last week. Remember, and I have a sad story, ladies and gentlemen. We have a sad story from a Trump supporter. I did a video about it, but it's not the video I posted on my page. You know, this video on my page is about someone regretting their vote. But this story, or this video, this is a Trump supporter who's going through some very, very difficult times. All right. Apparently, they took the bait, and you go, well, what's the bait? You remember this?
You're going to be so proud of your country if I get in. Mm-hmm. You're going to be so proud of your president, and I don't care about that. Mm-hmm. But you are going to be so proud of your country, because we're going to turn it around, and we're going to start winning again. We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so much.
Okay, so we know that's from the first term, but this is what MAGA thinks they're going to be doing, once Trump became president, right? And so we know what they did. They went out and they said, oh, Donald Trump's going to be president. They're going to go out and they're going to go buy, they get into the trucking industry and they start thinking, yeah, this is the way out. This is the way to get that meal ticket and become the man in the house, so to speak, right? And so they went and took on all this debt to try to just try to make it and be able to live that life like their dear leader, riding around in $400 million jets given to them by another country that's obviously a corrupt country, right? But they want to live that lifestyle that Donald Trump is showing them. They want the red tie. They want the family. They want the Gates. They want Mar-a-Lago. And so they go out and they accumulate all this debt. They work so hard. And then, Donald Trump does this thing where he thinks that it's okay to put tariffs in place for everybody. And so we've been trying to tell these Trump supporters this was a terrible idea, but they don't believe us. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we got some breaking news. A Trump supporter is going through some very, very difficult times. And I want us to, bow our heads and ask the Lord to help this man out.
How you doing, TikTok? Really torn up about whether or not I was going to make this video. But I think I need to. Today, I'm an owner-operator. I own my own truck. Or I should say I used to own my own truck. Today's the worst day of my life.
Oh.
Today's the day that I turned my truck in. I between the shops and the insurance and everything else that goes with it, the payments, I went broke. Put it mildly, I just went broke. I turned my truck in. Love my truck. I tried my best. Luckily, I work for a guy who's good enough to put me in a company truck. But it doesn't change the fact that I fucking failed. Run my ass off of it. Stay out 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks at a time. Sometimes more. Not only spend every penny I have, I went in debt.
Oh.
I owe this good man a lot of money. A lot of money.
I feel so bad.
He's good enough to try. He's going to work with me. See if I can't get it paid back. Doesn't help the fact that I fucking failed.
Yeah.
For all the truckers out there, I'll be out there with you. I'm trying to work it off. God bless you. Throw a peace sign up when you pass somebody. We all need it. I don't know what else to say. I don't deal with failure well, and I failed in a grandiose fashion, man.
You did.
And crash and burn like I'd never done in my life. Stay blessed. Remember, put God first. I love you. Peace. I'm out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll take over from here. This is a Trump supporter. You could go look at his pages, bashing Joe Biden. He was prospering under Joe Biden. This is why this is why I have to send y'all to the lake of fire. This is why I do this. This is why I say you will be judged. When I talk to you, Trump supporters, don't bring God into your mess after you have dug yourself into this ditch. You used the word failed. I'd hate to say it, but sir, you failed a long time ago when you decided to put your faith into Donald Trump. You knew this man was a criminal and you still went out there and supported him. You were ungrateful to President Biden when Biden was allowing you to actually have a job. He got those ports reopened after the pandemic, but something's wrong. The corruption in your heart got to you. So yes, you failed at being able to discern. You failed at being able to rightfully divide the word. Honestly, you don't know the truth anymore. You only believe Donald Trump and his lies, sir. And that's why you're going through these very difficult times. This is why judgment is upon you, W. Zeus. And so I want every single one of you Trump supporters out there to understand, you too, East Texas, judgment is upon you. You will be judged. everything you think is an issue with the Democrats, you're going to find out just like this guy what Chapter 11 is, bankruptcy. Y'all gotta quit playing around with the creator, God himself. You can't do that because, so now he said, I owe a good man. Oh, no, sir. You don't owe a good man. You owe, your debt is way bigger than that. Your soul, sir, has been totally compromised. You're totally conflicted. All right. And what's going on right now is instead of coming out and admitting that Donald Trump bamboozled you and that you allowed yourself to be a vassal of transgression, you're still in the cult. And so I want to say this, and then we'll get to judgment. To all of you out there who are still in the cult, walking around proudly while your families are suffering and while you're suffering and you're losing your jobs, you're going into debt, you can't even afford to eat, but it looks like you're eating pretty good. I don't know where you're getting the food from, all right? I got to say this. Do me a huge favor, all right? Why don't you find a corner to go into? Yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you. Tell your family you love them, all right, because that's pretty much where you're going to be the rest of your life, as far as I'm concerned. And do this other side. Go straight to hell.
Silence!
Wow. W Zeus. Look, I need to go buy a new hammer. I've been banging this hammer over here, and I think I need to go buy a new hammer and a stronger hammer because as far as I'm concerned, I think on this show we've sent at least hundreds of thousands of Trump supporters straight to hell, right? W Zeus. We've sent so many of you Trump supporters straight to hell. And it's necessary as far as I'm concerned because we got, a little over 3 years of this to do, unless they do something that I believe they need to do, which is, deal with this corrupt administration that's hell bent on just sowing seeds of wickedness all across this country. Y'all want to know another example of what I mean when I say wickedness? I didn't want to do it, but we got to talk about it. All right. Now, how many of y'all are Christians out there? Any Trump supporters that are Christians out there still? Anybody out there Christian and supports Donald Trump? Because I got a question to ask you. Seriously. Texan 357. Are you a Trump supporter, Texan 357? Because you keep putting pictures of Donald Trump in the chat. All right. He puts a clown face. All right. A clown face means that's Donald Trump's face. Texan. Come on up here, Texan, if you don't mind. Oh, Frank, you're a Trump supporter? Haven't we talked before, Frank? I think we've talked before. Texan, you don't want to come up here and actually put a little meat on the bone? All right, well, listen, do us a huge favor, all right, Texan, and just honestly, mute up. Mute up, Texan. I mean, Frank, I've already spoken to you, Frank, and I've totally annihilated you. I don't even know how you still have the strength or the courage to speak up. Oh, okay, let's see. Oh, CC says Zeus is a clown. All right, come on up here, CC. Come on up here. I know that. Come on up here, CC. Come on up here. We don't got all morning to do this. I don't know why all you Trump supporters just don't listen to my advice at the top of the show.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now.
All right, CC, I invited you up.
Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
You hear that, CC? Now, if you don't decide to come up here, CC, I'm going to ask my mods to, place you in a nice little straitjacket, all right? Because I can't have you out there distracting my comment section. Someone wrote, you should take your own advice. Nika, come on up here. You said I should take my own advice? Come on, we can have a good, honest conversation, but I don't think that's possible for any of you Trump supporters. So what I'll continue to do, ladies and gentlemen, is I'll continue. What did he say? Funny that Zeus uses all of Trump's comebacks. Oh, Marcus, come on up here, Marcus. Oh, Marcus. Okay, so all right, so y'all crashing out early in the morning. Well, you know what that means? W Zeus. Here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with all of you Trump supporters. Y'all got to be some of the most miserable people, because how's he going to tell y'all that y'all got to take pay cuts? He's going to cut your benefits, Medicaid, Social Security, right? He's going to actually send a lot of you to the unemployment line if you qualify for it. Or in this case with this guy, make you owe a gentleman who's a good man because you took out so much money from this and you're borrowing money. Y'all suffering. I've never seen this in my life. In a cult suffering. And this guy gets to tell y'all, oh, daddy needs new house. Daddy needs new shoes. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, and daddy needs a private jet from Qatar. Okay. In a country you all know he shouldn't be getting a crying dime from a cent from. He convinced all of y'all that it's okay for him to fly around in a palace while y'all live in the mud. I see this stuff happening, ladies and gentlemen, and I say you can't make this stuff up, folks. These folks living filthy. All right, I'm talking filthy beyond. Ain't showering in 1 or 2 days because they don't believe showers are needed. You know, RFK tells them you don't need to wash up. So they got these. And Donald Trump gets to fly around in a palace and tell them eat dirt. That's what he's telling you, MAGA. He's flying around telling y'all to eat dirt, drink mud, all right, and you'll be fine. And you're just doing it all willy-nilly. And as long as you get to turn around and bash the Democrats, right, you're on cloud nine. I've never seen anything like this in my life. And this is why I take great pride in doing shows like this. And every time a Trump supporter tries to insult me, I promise you this. It is probably one of the greatest badges of honor, greatest badges of courage to have a Trump supporter say something to me, because what that tells me is we are not alike, all right? I would never, ever want to be in a circle with a bunch of deranged Trump supporters who thinks it's acceptable to be lied to and live in filth and mud while their dear leader is riding around in a private jet, just getting it everywhere he lands, bags landing, everywhere he lands, bags landing. And y'all got to sit there and suffer? No. I don't want to be like you at all. All right. Because it's a low self-esteem issue. And if you want me to give you counseling, I say, you know what? Sign up for my one-on-one counseling sessions. Now, let me tell y'all a story. And I wanted to ask, are there any Christians out there? Because there's a story circulating out there. And I remember seeing the videos on TikTok and X. And I just kind of looked at it and I said, yeah, ICE is at it again. I can't believe ICE is doing this, separating mothers from their children. We've heard so many stories of just how inhumane the Trump administration has been in order to, quote, secure the borders. Yeah, you're securing our borders, but you're bringing the devil into the country because you're inviting the demonic spirit in the country when you do wicked things to get people out of the country. And so judgment is upon us. So this is a story called Their Lives Are Shattered, Kids and Grandchild Used as Bait in an ICE Arrest. All right. Federal immigration agents used an undocumented Brazilian woman's 2 daughters and infant grandchild as bait to carry out a chaotic arrest in Worcester, Massachusetts last week. I think we've all seen this. Okay, the now viral incident involving Roseanne Oliveira, who entered the United States in 2022, began after the woman's 21-year-old daughter, her 3-month-old baby, and her 17-year-old sister were stopped by ICE agents who were threatening to arrest one of them. Fiera, frightened daughter, told her mother that she needed to leave home now and come meet them on the street because ICE was telling them that if they arrested Clara, they weren't allowed to leave the baby in the hands of the minor. So the feds insisted that grandma needed to rush over and take custody of the baby. Once the woman arrived, ICE agents were waiting and placed her in custody. How? And you can go look up this story. This is a real story, ladies and gentlemen. I said, okay, now it all makes sense what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen.
Chaotic scene last week. The mayor here now wants a written policy for police interactions with ICE. Some say the way ICE moved in put the public at risk.
The way that they're arresting people is putting the public at risk.
This chaotic scene last Thursday getting national attention. People swarming ICE agents as they arrest a mother from Brazil in front of her 2 daughters, one with a 3-month-old baby. The mother, Roseanne Ferreira de Oliveira, now being held in a Rhode Island detention center.
Unknown persons approached her. They didn't know who they were. They were very confused. And, then the scene unfolded. No warrant was ever shown to her mother or to her or to anyone, really. And it seemed like the agents were there to take custody of everybody.
Attorney Andrew Lattarulo says the whole family has an asylum hearing scheduled in July before ICE showed up. Worcester police rushing to the scene to help maintain order, then arresting people who tried to intervene, including one minor daughter with his client's baby in her arms, standing in front of the ICE vehicle as it tried to leave.
Is that acceptable? Is that acceptable for ICE, masked men? And I'm asking the MAGA women out there. Imagine masked men show up. They don't identify who they are, and they lure you there to come protect your grandbaby. All right, and then you get there, and then they do a number on you. Is that really godlike? Can't we do better as no warrant? Aren't we supposed to do better as a country? Aren't we supposed to treat others as we would like to have them treated? It's okay if she's a criminal, then you follow the law and you do what you should do with any other criminal. But to just do something like this, you've permanently traumatized a whole community in the name of trying to protect them. It's sickening. But only MAGA will sit there and go, shouldn't have been in the country illegally. It was justified. And I said, and I got something for your special behind. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, Trump supporters, you will be judged, because that's just evil. That's just wickedness. You can't find Big Zeus, not one Bible chapter verse that supports doing any woman or child like that in the name of the good Lord. And so it's why I take great pleasure in doing the Lord's work. And what I'm going to do is warm up this lake of fire once again to all of you Trump supporters out there who think intimidating and really being very abusive to women and children is somehow in line with God. I got some bad news for you. You're going to lift your eyes up in where? Hell!
Silence, you MAGA demon!
I got a question for you Trump supporters. If Donald Trump told y'all to go rob a bank, would y'all do it? I gotta ask you, Trump supporters, if he told y'all to go rob a bank, would y'all do it? I just want to know. I just want to know if you have the ability to discern right from wrong at this point, because this is sad what we're dealing with right now. This is remedial. This is elementary stuff we're going over. It's elementary, yeah. Democrats robbed us taxpayers. User again. Go ahead. If you're a Trump supporter, please put a 1 in the chat. I'll bring you right on up here. I really need to help y'all understand something. It's at a point now, honestly, I don't even think we should debate MAGA anymore. We need to get y'all to a professional that can help y'all with y'all situation y'all got going on up here. This is some serious stuff MAGA got going on. Okay, Rob, I'm going to bring you up, Rob. Come on up here, Rob. I'll bring you right on up here, Rob, and we can get straight to the bottom of whatever is bothering you and help you see that, there's other ways to possibly get to the results you want. Rob, I sent you an invite, Rob, but you didn't decide to accept it. Come on up here, Rob. I feel like talking to a Trump supporter today right now. I could go through some more of my content, like what Donald Trump was saying in Saudi Arabia. What he said in Saudi Arabia, downright disgusting. Okay, W. Rick in the chat. Place a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, all right? And I'll bring you right on up here. Someone wrote, well, no one's coming up here to talk to me. You know why? And I'm going to be honest with you. It's because they know that no matter what they're saying, and they can say it in whatever tone they want to, if it doesn't make sense, no one's buying it. Simple as that. And you can't convince the majority of Americans that Donald Trump cutting Medicaid and Social Security is going to help them. You can't convince Americans that. Let's go. Let's bring up Cooper Flag. I think I've spoken to Cooper Flag before. I really do. It's just my memory is off. All right, let's see who do we got next, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we got here? Greetings.
Greetings, how are you?
I'm all right. You're a Trump supporter?
I am.
Okay. Conservative Conquisto. Why did you choose that name?
Just my heritage, and I'm conservative.
Got it. All right. So you hear me covering a lot of territory, and I'm connecting a lot of dots. You and I could agree that just setting a woman up, telling her to come get her grandkids just so you can detain her and, deport her, that's evil, isn't it?
What were you saying? They were detaining their
The
grandchildren?
woman, the woman, they lured her there, told her to come get the grandkids, and then when she gets there, it's all chaotic in the neighborhood, and then they detained her because that's what the trap was, to get her to come there. You know what I mean? Isn't that evil?
I wouldn't say it's evil. I would say it's just methodical.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Would you have the same issue when Obama skipped due process?
No, he didn't. It was called expedited removal.
No, he did.
No, I looked into it. It was a legal
He did.
Process,
Then so
but he did.
Why did so many liberal sources come out and say that Biden or that Obama is skipping due process and creating fear among immigrant communities?
Okay. So
That's
your question,
that's literally a headline from a liberal source.
So could you show me it?
Just Google what I just said.
Just tell me where do you want me to Google this?
Obama ignores due process. Just look that up.
Okay, I'm reading it. Let me see. So I don't see anything. Maybe it's my search engine. I use Google. What do you use?
Look at it was from a union. Let's see here. So Obama administration cracked down on immigrants, ignore due process, and creates fear. Communities filled with fear.
So that's AFL-CIO Americans. Okay, that's the website then, right?
Yeah, it's just one.
So this is January 6, 2016. It didn't say that he violated the due process.
So are you saying that he did not do so? I mean, that's just one source. You can go in and you can look at many. See, and this is the problem with many individuals like yourself.
Sir, it didn't say
things that you want to grift at.
Can I say what I need to say?
And one of the great things is
hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hold on. Can you hear me? Listen, I'm not going to drop you, so you don't got to worry about me over talking, as long as you're not using profanity on my show, all right? But you just can't do the
someone interjecting comments to you. You probably shouldn't be in this space. I'm not interrupting you. I'm talking and you're trying to make a point. I'll allow you the same courtesy as well too.
Well, wait a second. You can't. First of all, I'm gonna need you to relax. You can't dictate where I should or shouldn't be. Who the heck are you? Who the heck are you? Who the heck are you?
That's fine.
Who the heck are you?
You.
I'm your worst nightmare. Okay. Now, you made a claim. You made a claim about Obama, and I want to answer it, and I want to be very firm. If President Obama,
rocket docket immigration hearing
Jesus Christ,
process expert.
If Obama broke the law, then I have a problem with it. All right. That's the answer to your question. But I don't see anything on this website that says Obama did what we call the Alien Enemies Act.
And then you start muting people. That's why you're so pathetic.
Because you're over
an NBC News source.
Because I got to mute the demon. Now, I told you I'm not going to drop you.
It's found 70% of rocket docket cases were processed through immigration courts without legal representation, skipping due process.
Okay.
So you pick and choose the things that you want to talk about because they fit your narrative.
Okay.
You're not really angry. You're making money online, acting like you actually care, but you do not. And you're doing very well.
So read that statement again. Read that statement. Read the statement again.
Soon it will be
statement again. Read that statement. Read the statement again.
Soon it will be Biden's economy. Your narrative will change when things improve.
No. Read the statement.
What you guys do.
Read the statement
That's what
again.
You guys do.
See, I knew you didn't want to read it because you're not being honest. Read the statement again. According to what you just said, they went through the immigration court. Well,
And
I'm
they
talking to
skipped
you
portions
about,
of it
so,
that
sir,
went
sir,
against due
sir.
process. So you have one
Sir,
individual case of
sir.
Roberto Garcia, right? And that's where you guys are going off that he skipped due process. Where
He admitted that he went through a court, and then now we can't say they went through a court because you're talking about some technicality, bro. Did Obama use the alien? Did Obama use?
on the Zoom?
Did Obama use the Alien Enemies Act? Yes or no?
He did not.
That's the issue.
Okay, but I don't care.
That's the issue. Did the Supreme Court listen? Did the Supreme Court? Did the Supreme Court? Did the Supreme Court tell Obama to do anything? No. So the issue you're trying to bring up makes no sense. And I'll go one step further. Why? Listen. Conservative conquisto. I want you to listen to me, and this is something that really grinds my gears. The moment you say a Democrat did it, that's why we're doing it. To me, you've lost all credibility because you should be doing better than the Democrats.
You can choose narratives that fit your agenda. But
I don't have an agenda.
People test their balance. You do have a
what is my agenda, bro?
Grift and make money online over things that you really don't care about. You just bitch about them.
Didn't I ask you not to use profanity? You're not the only person. Listen, and let me say this.
Hurt your little feelings.
You can come up here.
My worst nightmare, and you're crying about me saying the B word.
Yeah, because I have people who I try to keep the show clean for. It really isn't about me, because if I was in your live and you were doing it, it's whatever. But I'm running a show, and I ask that you respect the business of what I do. You can't do that.
I don't respect what you do.
Huh?
I don't respect what you do at all.
I mean, that's probably because you have a hard time respecting yourself. Because to be honest with you, I don't care if you disagree with me or not. I know you're wrong. I know you're not being consistent.
You haven't proved me wrong. All you've done is say that that's not the same. Even
it
though
isn't.
In a sense, potato. It's the same.
It isn't. You agreed. You agreed that they went through the court. You based on what you read. So
many were actually. I mean, you want to look it up? And many
no, I don't need to. And then
seen the judge.
And then I asked you very plainly.
I'll look that up for you right now.
Are you going to interrupt me? I asked you very plainly. Did Obama use the Alien Enemies Act? No. Did the Supreme Court tell Obama anything? No. You're comparing Obama to Donald Trump, and I think that's honestly, and now that I think about it, that's actually disrespectful.
Well, they did call him the deporter in chief.
They could call him whatever. You call Kamala Harris the border czar. It don't matter. You guys make up all these nicknames.
He deported many people without even seeing a judge.
Did he break the law?
They focused on speed over fairness. That was another quote that was put in there. So
this is the demon. This is the demon.
You will make any. You will not.
Conservative.
You know you're wrong. You can cry all day, but you know you're
conservative conquisto. All I want to say is, me and you don't have to keep going back and forth because we're going to agree to disagree on this. I personally do not believe that Obama broke the law using the alien.
I can't believe you.
Next topic. Next topic.
You say that the over the
next
80
topic.
criminal people that were found, rapists, murderers.
Can you use TikTok friendly language, bro? Jeez, where did you come from?
Would you say that's good? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to say grape. I'm sorry.
Jeez, get your lies together. Get your lies together.
I'm sorry, my guy. No, this is not a lie. This is quite literally a report.
He's doing it. I mean, it's like if you got the goods, bro. And this, I got to tell you, folks, when you're telling the truth, you don't even got to worry about it. You shouldn't have to do all of these extra things to try to get people to, buy what you're selling. Conservative conquisto, come on back here, because I heard you mentioning something about criminals, and I just want to stop it right there because I don't got all morning. You are not allowed to talk about criminals. You're not allowed to talk about criminals.
Wow.
You're not allowed to talk criminals.
Are you going to go into the abuse of power that you guys did over things that no one cares?
No.
Half of the country literally said that we don't agree with your bullshit.
Okay, that's strike 3. Jesus Christ. Conservative. Give you one more time to keep it clean. If you can practice showing us you can keep it clean, I might be impressed by you.
It's hard to keep it clean when you're literally just lying out your teeth and just switching the goalposts as much as you.
So you have a problem with liars? I
have a problem with you.
Oh, that's personal.
Yes, and you know what? I will
W Zeus. So conservative, because you know I was going to tell you Trump lied over 30,000 times when he was in office the first time. So you don't have a conservative. I think I figured you out.
I know when he's lying compared to when I know that you're lying to try and manipulate people.
When is Trump lying? Tell the truth.
He lies all the time. He says things that aren't accurate, but if you go and you look past it, it's not.
Oh no. We don't look past it.
So you're saying that Biden never lied?
I'm asking you about your dear leader. I'm asking you about your dear leader.
I just made a concession to you that yes, he does.
Yeah. So when you say he does, but when you make a concession, when you make a concession like that, right? You've eliminated any defense you can have, right? So you can't say so and so lied, but I can support this liar.
That you have over anybody that you want to back up or make that you're saying they've never lied.
I would never say such a thing. I would never say that. But what we're saying
Okay,
is
so
Donald Trump is a no.
point because that's the point you just made to me is that my arguments have no point. So neither does yours.
So you support a liar
right now, right?
So you're supporting a liar is what we
And so
understand.
do you.
Okay. So then what's the issue?
You support politicians.
So what's the issue then?
You're the one making an issue.
No. So no, because now you're just saying
You
I'm
lost
trying to
the
get to the
argument
bottom
about
of it.
Obama, so now you're switching to something else, right? So
No.
how long is it going to be before that this is Biden's economy when things start to improve, just like the last time?
Well, you must not have been listening to your leader. Your leader said when it's good, it's his. When it's bad, it's Biden. So you do the math. See,
No, I'm
I listen to Donald.
Evidence. I've seen you guys switch the narrative. Anytime when things improve and we actually start seeing, good things like inflation going down, grocery prices going down. These are all things that actually are coming out. So yeah, you can dispute that all you want, but I mean.
And where do you get? Hey, where do you? Wait
you guys
a second.
complained about how bad it was, and then later on, it was like we actually had one of the best economies in the last decade.
You know what?
Plus, so.
You know what? I got to give it to you. You drink that Kool-Aid and you make it taste and sound like it's very delicious.
Brother,
I got to
the
give
thing
it to you.
is
But
I hate
let me
both
ask you
sides
this:
of
how
the
much is the
aisle.
gas?
I don't
How
like
much is the gas? How much is the gas where you're at?
I think $2.50.
Well, he's telling people it's $1.97.
Okay.
So I already know that.
Obviously a lie.
Okay, and the eggs. How much? How much are your eggs? Where you're at? Where you're at? What city are you in?
1 second.
What city are you in? Look at that. Someone wrote 359 in Illinois. Wow. Conservative Conquisto. I'm going to be honest. The demon is very, very strong in you. All right. But unfortunately, nobody's buying what you're selling. Maybe the 12 people that decided to follow you in this live, they might be buying it. But over here, Big Zeus, I'm not buying any of it. You tried to climb Mount Olympus with the ladder of lies. You threw all that you had. And I don't think there's really anything left in the chamber, bro. And so I think in the best interest of the show, it is now time for judgment. It's time for judgment. To the chat, is it judgment time? If so, Lake of Fire, yes or no? Because, no, I'm not buying what he's selling at all. I see it. They're saying it's Lake of Fire time. Conservative Conquisto. Unfortunately, the people have spoken and we live in a democracy. And so what I'll do is this, peace and blessings be with you on your way straight to hell.
Silence, you matter, Damon.
You get up here and you try to make Obama and Joe Biden seem like terrible people. This is my big issue with those arguments. But then you'll say Trump can do it because they did it. Well, then, darn it, you should be a Democrat then. Because that means you're doing what Democrats do. That's how I see that argument. And I just think it's a terrible thing. But then to say Obama did it, and I'm going, well, you read it. They said they went through court. Now, maybe it's not the court you would have liked them to go through, but at least they got something. What we're dealing with right now is these people aren't even getting that. These people are being subjected to a law that a judge found was unconstitutionally being used. The Alien Enemies Act. All right. And so then you got the Supreme Court involved saying you need to facilitate the return. Completely different ball games, bro. W. Zeus. And And it's something wrong because when you have to defend what Donald Trump is doing by going back in time, y'all will go all the way back to Abraham Lincoln. Y'all go all the way back to George Washington. Y'all will go back to ancient Egyptian civilization if you could use that as a reason to justify the things that Donald Trump is doing when you could just simply say it's wrong. W. Zeus. And then he tried to manipulate us and say that the economy is thriving. Listen, bro, I just played a video clip of a Trump supporter who just lost his trucking business. And you know why that happened? It's because the economy isn't good. These tariffs, happened. It's because the economy isn't good. These tariffs, the worst fiscal policy implemented by any president of the United States within their first 100 days. These policies that he has implemented, bro, are costing Trump supporters their lives, their livelihood, their jobs. And he's about to kick a bunch of you Trump supporters off of Social Security and Medicaid, especially. I'm so sorry. I just get so passionate, ladies and gentlemen. When they get up here and they lie and they try to say the economy is doing good when we all know, no, it is not. Inflation has not gone down. Stop lying, bro. All right. Let's go back to the audience, ladies and gentlemen. What a show. I needed that, to be honest with you. I was kind of feeling in a mood this morning, but sometimes you need a little juice like that to get you going. All right. All righty then. Who do we have? The beautiful Ari. Welcome to the show. How are you doing? How are you doing, Ari?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. We're just, taking care of business. I call it taking out the trash, but, it's a dirty job. Someone has to do it.
Yeah, I came at the end of it and heard you kind of talking to conservative conquistador or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
I didn't actually have a chance to read it that far.
Oh.
And I heard you talking about Garcia and the Alien Enemies Act, and I'm sure you're already aware. I missed the beginning part of your show, and I'm sorry. I'm normally in here at
Never have to apologize.
Oh yeah, I love listening to your show while I'm tapping away at a keyboard at work. So
thank you so much.
So a federal judge in Pennsylvania, of course, approved the use of him, the Trump administration deporting Venezuelan suspected gang members out, but they have to give them 21 days in order to file an appeal. You
see what I mean? You see what we mean? You just can't do what Donald Trump has been doing, though. But they love to use this argument about Obama and the expedited removals. What do you have to say about that, Ari? Because I want to make sure they understand that they can't get away with it just simply bringing up Obama's name.
So, and like, I agree with that. I think the thing is that they don't realize there's a significant difference. Those individuals that were deported under Obama's administration, Clinton's, Bush's, even Biden's, etc., they weren't accused of being gang members. They were just accused of being here unlawfully and without documentation. So when we're just picking up people that have citizenship, as a lot of them do,
yep.
And they're just being accused of being this member, that's why we say it's a matter of due process and habeas corpus, and why the administration now has been suggesting to, guess what, suspend habeas corpus to get around the fact that they are aware they must be violating a portion of the law in the Constitution.
You hear this, conservative conquistador, whatever you call yourself? We're talking about night and day stuff, bro. You gotta stop it. Yeah, someone wrote racial profiling. You're going after women and children. Stop it, bro. Trump.
Yeah, they try to use it as they try to use it as a gotcha, and it's really not, because they don't look into it further to see like what all goes into it. And apparently Polly's in the guest request too, so that's really funny.
Oh, Polly's in there. Where did he go? There you go. I'll bring you and Polly up together. You guys do a great job tag teaming this stuff. Good morning, Polly. How are you doing?
What's going on, brother? How you doing, Zeus?
Yeah. I'm doing all right. We had a MAGA demon just come and visit us in the kingdom, and it was a lot of lies circulating, coming right out of their mouth. It's almost like they put the mouth on a gozle, the gas station gozle, and they all the lies, and they started spewing it out. What do you think about all of this?
So I actually caught a bit of it, and that's actually what I wanted to coach on. Did he at any point? Because I missed the first part of your conversation with him. Also, did he also
Well,
say how old he was?
no, I didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't tell
Okay,
me
because
this, but he's citing an Obama administration crackdown on immigrants, ignores due process, and creates communities filled with fear article. And he's
yeah.
and this is something not just him, but a lot of the people on the right like to do. They like to say Obama, the deporter in chief, broke the law like Trump is. So what Trump is doing is acceptable.
And that's actually why I want to know how old he was, because this is what's actually funny. The left was incredibly critical of Obama's deportation policies the entire time he was president. And I was like, am I the only one that remembers this? Like, the entire time Obama was president, the left was very, very critical of his use of detention centers, of the separation of families, of the numbers of people in which he was deporting. If you actually just type that, and I was just curious to see, because I just typed it into Google just to see what it says. And literally, if you type in, was the left critical of Obama? First thing it says, yes, President
Yeah.
Obama's immigration policies face significant criticism from the left, particularly regarding his high deportation numbers. So when they're saying, "Oh, Obama did it," and you guys didn't complain, yes, we did. The entire left was upset at Obama for his deportation policies because we don't worship our politicians. We are able to be critical of our politicians when they do stuff that we don't like. They should take a page out of the book of the left and actually
Hey,
be critical of the people that we actually vote for, because there was things that Obama did that we didn't like. There's things that Biden did that we didn't like. It's the only difference is we criticize and they just bow down, and that's the entire difference.
W, Polly, W, Ari. So, now that is this knucklehead still in the chat? What was his name? Conservative Conquisto. If you don't mind, could you come back up here and bring your open AI sources and DuckDuckGo and all the laptops you own? Because we want to make sure you get the training you need before you go into the next live. Is he still here? Conservative Conquisto, please come on back up. I would love to know, because we got to stop these lies, ladies and gentlemen. This is some of the most dangerous stuff, because someone wrote conservative grinder. Knock it
I
off.
was gonna say, I promise, we're really nice.
Yeah. Because I didn't want to have to do all of this, ladies and gentlemen. But this is some serious stuff that we've gotten our country into, and we need to stop it. All right, W Tara. What? I thought I was. All right. Let's see. We have some other voices that may need to come up here. All right. Good morning, Val. How are you
How's it
doing?
going?
How are you? All right. How are you doing?
Good. That guy made me laugh. He
Well,
was
what are you?
Always good.
he was kind of interesting, trying to use the Obama situation, but there's a lot of things he didn't understand. Now, Obama, when he came into office, that was one of his things. He wanted to get immigrants with criminal records out of the country. That was one of his actual things. And that's where it all started. Now, the difference is a lot of these, he tried to go, there was no due process. A lot of these happened while, you know what I'm saying, under court order from different states, because that's what he gave the power of the state to do, was to use their courts to put court orders out for people. And there was a lot of reasons. Now, when you talk about criminality, that's where things got a little sketchy, right? So,
Yeah.
was it a violent crime? What was the breaking point, right? You know what I'm saying? Was it violent crime? Was it robbery? Was it things like that? Was the breaking point? And
Yeah.
states obviously took advantage of that, as they did with other bills that have been put forth and passed by administrations in the past, right?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? That was part of it. But in the end, the number's 3 million. That's the deportations out of the Obama administration over 8 years. It's
3 million?
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's the
Yeah.
end number. Now you got to remember, there was a lot of other factors in these too. A lot of these deportations were people that also did not show up for their hearings. Okay, so I kind of get these, and I kind of understand why these things would happen, right? So,
Yeah.
especially when you've got states. But the end result is there was due process.
Thank you. W Val. That's what we wanted to do. Now, hey, Takesha, you're there. I want to make sure we kind of check in with everybody, and then we'll open it up for more of a rich discussion. Takesha, how are you doing?
Good morning, Zeus. How you doing?
Another day in the kingdom. Just we had somebody come up here spewing a bunch of lies, and I'm a little concerned that people aren't they're not getting it. Any thoughts?
Zeus, I almost got naked, rolled down Razor Blade Mountain into Alcohol Lake when I heard that man talking, because I was just on fire mad. That just the stuff he was saying just didn't make any sense to me. I don't understand these people. Hey Ari, hey Polly, hey Val. God, I love Ari and Polly. But anyway, so listen, Zeus.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is this: you all are so concerned about the immigrants, but you had no problem when they had the welcome mat laid out and everything the white South Africans needed.
Oh.
When they got here, we haven't gone through their records. We don't know what they've done. We don't know if they were murderers or rapists. You just rolled out the red carpet and said, come on in. No, they're not talking about that, Zeus.
Who gonna talk about it?
But see, as long as it's brown people, and as long as the South Africans did it to the people of color, that's okay. But you got an immigrant to murder one person, you talk about it until you can't talk about it no more. That's an issue. But you welcomed in, the red carpet.
There you go.
Can we talk about that red carpet a little bit? Can we talk about J.D. Vance and the 44,000 acres of farmland these people are supposedly getting? Can we talk about
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, Dale.
You know what I'm saying? Can we talk about the American farmers that this company that J.D. Vance started is bought farmland from American farmers that are going out of business because they're not getting subsidies?
We know the plan. We know the setup. We know the setup.
Now these South African immigrants are going to get this farmland. That's what I want to talk about. I want to know their answer on that.
Talk on it, Val. And the homeless standing on the side of the road watching them come in to get all the things the homeless need. I can't take this administration serious.
Wow. They getting all that money?
Are we really trying to give them 40 acres and a mule? Is that literally what they're trying to forget?
That's what they're trying to do.
Trying to emulate over here?
Yes, Polly.
They finna get
the hell out of here, dude. Sorry.
They finna get Elsa the cow and everything.
Wow.
But don't forget, Takesha, Donald Trump is still doing good, right? Because he's converting an old center that's not going to be ready until 2028 to house homeless veterans, up to only 6,000. And it's only one center. So we have to give him a big pat on the back. And let's not forget, we're doing these $5 million gold cards where it would be the same thing, right? Where rich individuals can come in here and we have no idea where they're from, what their past is, or anything like that because they paid for it, right?
Wow.
Welcome the rich and punish the poor.
We can house them in our she sheds faster than them houses coming for those people. We're not finna play with Donald Trump. The only thing Donald Trump did was put on a new toupee this year that's too thick and too big for his head. He's done nothing impressive to me. Donald Trump played too much, and that administration does too.
Wow. W to the panelists. So it doesn't sound like America first. And hello, Diva Talks. How are you?
Hey guys, I just wanted to say, did you guys see where 17 members of El Chapo's family walked across the border with a deal with the United States government?
No.
You better shut your mouth and keep on talking.
No, don't you dare. Don't you dare say something.
Shut your mouth and keep on talking.
Yep, with a supposed deal for the Sinaloas or Sinaloas?
Sinaloa cartel?
Sinaloas, thank you. I didn't know the name of it, of that gang. 17 members of his family walked across the U.S.-Mexico border 2 days ago.
Get out of here.
So not only are we getting out mamas and babies and kids and all of that stuff, you've got him now bringing cartel members into the country.
I actually saw that. I saw that, and you know what? I want a Trump supporter to come up here and defend it.
So I guess they paid their $5 million.
What did I tell y'all at the beginning of this administration? I said America is retribution for not voting for Trump in 2020. He is going to destroy this company because he's an egotistical maniac who cannot handle rejection. And we rejected him, and he's been sitting back for the last 4 years trying to figure out how to pay America back, and he's turning it down. And if y'all can't see it, I'm gonna lend y'all my glasses. Pilot and Ari, let's lend them our glasses, because this is exactly what's going on. He is trying to destroy this country, because he's mad because we didn't want him in 2020.
Wow. I've never been shocked like this in a while, but this is just, to me, y'all silenced the MAGA demons out there. They know there's nothing they can say to defend this stuff right here. We got white South Africans getting 40 acres and a mule. Where's Blagga for this? Because they got a lot of things to bring. They got a lot to explain. I thought y'all was getting the money. What about the Doge checks? And greetings, Nutty. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Are you a little bothered by what we're finding out? He's letting in some people that are tied to very dangerous stuff. You know, you got to keep it clean. But what I just heard, he's letting the cartel into the country, and then he's going after mothers and children.
So my question to Polly specifically and to Keisha. So with inflation, the 40 acres and a mule that our ancestors were supposed to receive after the Civil War, with the 40 acres and a mule, with the cost of inflation, Polly, what would that equal out to in today's economy?
Like monetarily, or like as far as like a land.
Monetarily.
Oh my goodness, 40 acres post Civil War. I mean, that would would have to be worth in the millions at this point.
Do we have that much land?
They say 40 acres and a mule today is difficult, but some estimate place it around $640 billion. Isn't that crazy?
Okay.
That's what the internet says.
So my question is this. I have a proposal. So we know that the United States government owes us because we were promised that 40 acres and a mule to our ancestors, right? I would like to cash in our chips. I want today's equivalent of the 40 acres and a mule, plus I will sell them my citizenship for the $5 million. I won't even raise the price for the $5 million, and I'll get the hell out of the United States. Actually, I won't go anywhere because my ancestors built this place, but I'll tell them I'm going to pay up. Because if you can bring South, I want to make it clear, these are Dutch South Africans. And the reason I want to say Dutch is for TikTok purposes, but let's just say it. These are white South Africans who are racist in themselves. They're coming here, like Val said. They're going to get farmland that was actually, I'm going to say it, that was stolen from the American farmer. Because what did they do? They squeezed their neck until they had to sell, and then J.D. Vance's little company went in there and bought them out, not at the rate that they were worth, just to get them gone. And now that these people they're going to take your jobs. Aren't y'all angry about that?
Yeah.
But I guarantee you one thing, they're not going to be out there picking strawberries. They're not going to be out there picking cabbage.
They ain't? What are they going to be doing then? Are they going to be...
They're going to be getting the millions of dollars in subsidies from the United States government for farmland, and then they're going to be taking the tech jobs. That's why Elon brought them in.
That's sad.
You know what? I just did the calculation on the on thing, and that's like the total number that it would have been. It's just eerily similar how close the number of that, like 40 acres and a mule, like adjusted for inflation, how close that is to like the exact same amount that Donald Trump just received in the form of a gift from of an airplane. Like that's wildly similar how close that number is to being like, oh yeah, Donald Trump was just given that much money as like a personal gift. But yeah, can't freaking. Anyways, sorry, I was just really annoyed by looking at that number.
You brought up something though. And we talked about it yesterday. We talked about it yesterday, and there were reports coming out. DJ. I don't know if DJ is here, but he not you, the good DJ, the bad DJ. I call him Scott Jennings. He was trying to say that the taxpayers don't have to pay for that gift. But all these reports have came out, DJ, I don't know if you're paying attention, Scott Jennings, but we would have to pay millions and millions of dollars for that so-called gift, bro. So you were wrong. I ought to do the Lake of Fire on you again just for you wasting our time.
So Zeus, I had to
retrofit it.
Yeah, I had to cut and run yesterday when DJ was up in the box, and I apologize for that. And I heard him. I did hear him crying and whining, saying, "Y'all treat me so bad. I'm not coming here again." We literally heard him cry. We literally heard him cry because he exposed himself by what he was saying, and then he caught it and it's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so wrong. You don't have to worry about me." But anyway, so it's to retrofit this $400 million gift. It's gonna cost the American taxpayer almost $5 billion with a B.
There's
Not
no
to mention,
possibility that that thing is actually done in time for him to use it more than like maybe his last few months in office. So it's literally just a personal jet that's just for him. So I didn't mean to cut you off, Nutty. But there's
no, you're fine. No, you're fine.
it is going to take years upon years upon years to retrofit that aircraft. That's why he's so angry about when one is so bad, because the last freaking Boeing jets that he ordered to replace Air Force One aren't done yet, because that is the most secure airplane on the planet. Okay, they have to rip every single piece out of that plane and freaking pretty much redo the entire guts, every single panel, every single piece of instrumentation, every single defense mechanism, everything. This is not, like that's millions just in parts. That's not even talking about how much money is going to be spent in man hours, right? Like probably U.S. military man hours to refit that aircraft, if not freaking feeding it straight to somebody like Boeing, who's going to hire contractors out to do it. And then they're going to retrofit the whole thing and then hand it to him out the door. And just like, here's your little present, the most expensive personal gift to a U.S. president in American history.
Wow.
Not to mention. Oh, go ahead.
When we got this plane, I asked a friend of mine about this because I knew something about Air Force One and as far as its superstructure and how it's built before, you know what I'm saying, specifically for Air Force One because of the weight and the extra equipment and the different things that it carries. The superstructure on that plane is entirely different. I don't see how you retrofit that.
Let's forget about all of that. Let's forget about all of that. But every single time, the 40-year-old Air Force One that he's riding in now, because it's such a piece of crap airplane, it's such a dump. The aircraft that he's riding in now, every single time that engine is turned on, is costing us over $1 million. Can you imagine the cost of just flying on that beast? Are we willing to continue paying that? Especially when this president, the one that we have occupying the Oval Office, is on pace of spending $1 billion of our money in golfing by the end of the year, just in golfing.
Wow. I think it's fiscally irresponsible for us taxpayers to have to fund this lifestyle between him and Elon Musk, right? I mean, when did we get to a place as a nation when this became the status quo? When did this become acceptable that we got to actually fund all of these nefarious things from allowing criminals into our country? We're paying for this. This is what Trump is negotiating. This is the art of the deal.
He's not going through any.
I said yesterday. I'll say it again today. If you take Donald Trump's name out of this and insert it Joe Biden or Barack Obama, same scenario, same situation, they would be losing. I say they because we would lose our mind too, because we can do that. We can criticize our elected officials, but they would lose their stuff. The fact that they would lose their stuff over Barack Obama or Joe Biden should tell them that it's wrong with Donald Trump.
Did you see Obama come out and say that?
Oh,
yeah, I did.
I don't know if y'all got a chance to see that, but Obama came out and said that. He was like, can y'all imagine what would happen if I did any of this? Can y'all imagine what would happen if I did any of this? Right? And it's so crazy that it's almost like to the point where we're ignoring some of the crazy because it doesn't meet our bar for how crazy it is. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that we ignore as crazy, right? I'll just say that Caroline Levitt, we ignore her most of the time because she doesn't even meet our bar for crazy.
He's a nutcase.
Considering all the other crazy stuff that's going on, you know what I'm
He's
saying?
a
But
nutcase.
just Caroline Levitt enough under any other president would have been hell. Sorry, what'd you say, Keisha? I apologize.
She's a nutcase. That's what she is.
That's understatement of the year, I believe. But like just the little stuff, the little crazy stuff that happens all the way throughout his presidency that we ignore because we have to stay so concentrated on deporting, American citizens and receiving, airplanes that we ignore. And I think that's what he counts on. I think he counts on everybody being so obsessed with these giant headline, obvious corruption things, while he just slowly gets away with, eroding our values, eroding our constitutional rights, eroding our democracy, eroding this, eroding that. And sooner or later, it's just like we're all just kind of confused by the entire thing,
Yeah.
Important when all of this stuff is happening, in my opinion, to look at what Congress is doing in the background, right? Because everything that they do, of course, is posted on their website. You can see all of their vote records and everything like that. But I think that's the important thing. See, what is Congress doing in the background? What bills are they voting on that they're trying to cover up? What is DOJ doing in the background? What's that silly little committee that's more worried about everything else except for what they're actually supposed to be doing?
Good questions.
Yeah.
What about aren't they supposedly Val, you might know more. What about the Sean Duffy and the FAA? I'm hearing that the skies aren't so friendly and that there's a lot of outdated technology.
It was reported yesterday that they are having trouble making sure that the systems are good to, you know what I'm saying, that they don't have the people to keep up with the systems.
Wow, you don't say.
And he even diverted his own wife's flight to LaGuardia instead of going through Newark. He went on TV to say, yeah, it's still safe, but he diverted his wife's flight from Newark to LaGuardia.
Wow. The hypocrisy is outstanding. And
retribution, Zeus, retribution. I keep telling y'all, it's retribution. Donald Trump mad at us. He is payback. He mad at us. He's doing nothing that benefits us. Sit down and tell me one thing he's done that benefited the American people.
Let's go.
Water pressure.
Wait a minute.
W. Smitty.
We got pennies. we got rid of pennies.
We got rid of the straws. So are there any Trump straws?
I was gonna say the straws.
It's getting to the point where it's just he's just playing around in our faces. Did you hear what he said about the Crown Prince yesterday when he said, what did he say? Let me see. Let me ask you all what you think of this.
Oh, what I do for the Crown Prince.
Ew.
Did you hear? And he did a huge.
He was peeing. And trying to
Black Diamond.
He was blushing. He was blushing. What would I do for the Crown Prince? Ooh.
Did that sound a little?
He was smelling himself to make sure he hadn't done anything, but then too he was fantasizing about the Crown Prince. That's what it was.
Because did it seem like it was a little freaky when he said those things?
Yes,
the way Terry, we could say that we heard it the way he said it.
Terry, he was acting like Pepe Le Pew when he caught the skunk. Stop it. The man was in love yesterday.
He was floating in the air.
About his wife like that.
He was floating in the air right above the ground.
Yes.
Zesty, yeah. He was zesty. When he said that, what I would do for the Crown Prince, and he was smelling, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, I've never seen a president look so weak in my life and disgusting.
Yes, he act like he was sitting in a script club with a bottle of Viagra when he said it.
Isn't this an amazing panel, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, listen, I've never had an opportunity to have all of you wonderful people all on the same show at the same time, but thank you, seriously.
You know what's really scary? Sorry, go ahead, Diava.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, do people forget about 9/11 and who was responsible for 9/11?
Diava, I shouldn't have told you to go ahead because I was just about to bring that up.
I mean, the last time Qatar sent a plane over, it hit Tower 2.
I was about to bring that up because I was going to say, where is our president right now? As of right now, where is he? he's over in Qatar.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
No,
They said it, not
I
me.
said it. Yes. And I'm afraid because we don't have people in the room that can report what's being said, what deals are being made. He is selling America. Excuse me, because real money would get mad at me for saying that. He is selling the United States of America.
Bingo.
He's selling us, and he's selling us to the highest bidder, and we don't have anybody in the room to report what's going on. Because everybody that's in the room, they're going to be hush-hush until it's too late.
Also, to you, the way he talks about Canada and Mexico, I don't even know if you were wrong the first time you said that.
You know what? That's a good point.
Yeah, like I don't even know if you were wrong. I don't even know if you needed to correct yourself to United States of America, to be completely honest with you. Like the way he talks about wanting to take over Canada, the way he treats Mexico, the way, he talks about this continent as if he owns the entire thing. You might have had a Freudian slip that was actually perfect, because he might just be trying to sell everybody out, and I'm not sure whatsoever.
Not only that, but we're complaining about all of this money given to foreign countries, right? Forgetting the fact that because and I'm going to bring it back full circle for us here, that when he brought in the white Afrikaans as refugees, they were granted refugee status in America, which means they're eligible to be listed as parolees, which means that all of the old white people that came over from South Africa are now eligible for Social Security and Medicare benefits.
Also on the Afrikaner website, where they were learning how to come here, the very first bullet point on that list says they do not have to show they don't have to prove persecution. And also they're entitled to 12 months of housing, food, medical, all the things that everyone bitches about. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry, Zeus. Everyone complains about what they think undocumented immigrants get that they actually don't get. But these people are going to be getting 12 months. Even asylum seekers only get 90 days. These people are getting 12 months.
Wow.
And talk about the homeless population, but they don't have any money to help them. But you can bring in people from other countries and give them what you could give to the homeless population. I think it's really disgusting, but like I said again, we are his retribution, and just not call us United States, because we haven't been united since this man stepped down the escalator. We just right now the states of America.
Well, I mean, it's a familiar theme. It's a familiar theme, right? We saw this a few months ago. We saw this about 6 months ago with the 3,000 people laid off at Tesla, replaced by H-1B visas. You know what I'm saying? This, from Elon Musk. This is a thing. And so, and then you have Elon Musk that was up there for almost most of the first 100 days, right? Talking about how Americans were lazy. So this is what you know what I'm saying? This is the mentality we're dealing with. And I'll ask I'll ask all the MAGA people out there and all the voters for Trump, can you please tell me something in this whole situation that we just talked about that is America first? I'll wait.
Anybody in the chat, please, if you could tell us what, I'm begging you, and I don't even like to beg, but honestly, what has Donald Trump done that shows it's America first? I don't see it.
I think you people on the panel, I think y'all just being highly unfair. You all are being unfair. You're being highly unfair, Kofefe. You're being highly unfair to these people that are coming in and are eligible for Social Security, food stamps, eligible for all the things. So they're not jumping, they're not skipping in line. These are refugees because we know the atrocities that are going on over in South Africa. We know what they are. And we know that they swam across the ocean to get here. Oh wait, we flew them across. But we know that's okay. We know that they're escaping persecution. We know that they're running from gangs. We know that they're I can't even think of it. They just are. And we should be helping them. And it's okay. the American people who are here and suffering, they will understand. We're the nation of immigrants because we're bringing our tired, our poor, our huddled masses yearning to be free. We know the truth.
Yeah, there's been tons of atrocities happening in South Africa, except for Donald Trump brought over the freaking perpetrators, not the victims. That's the
Say it,
issue.
Polly.
That's
Say
And
it,
the
and they
Polly.
issue.
said
South
it.
South Africa has been in freaking problem my entire life. Okay, I think what is it? Something like the white South Africans are like what 6% of the population own 40-something% of the land or something
No,
like
it's
that. Like
seven.
More than that,
Yes.
it's
It's
70%.
7% of the
yeah,
population, and they own 70%
like
of all the
70% of the
land.
land. Yeah, something
I
like I knew it was
can't.
some crazy number like that. Yeah, they brought over the people that are doing the atrocities, not the people that are the victims of it. And that's well, honestly, not surprising. I was
I
gonna say
can't.
surprising, but it's not.
It's not, but I guess I also have, since they came over here, the individuals that came over here have admitted to wanting apartheid to come back to existing in South Africa.
Wow, wow, wow. I
The
just
only,
can't.
the only, the only border they ran for was Taco Bell. They not running to the border for help.
Wow, I listened to all that you all have said, and you all been spot on. And we asked the chat, what has he done to show America first? And there was a knucklehead in there that said inflation down, egg prices are down, gas is down. Does anyone want to tackle that?
Please let me, Zeus.
Okay, because they
Please
say they
let me.
believe that, and I just didn't know if we got to address it.
Zeus, let me get gone and do the eggs. Because I went to, I stay in Walmart. I went to Walmart and I'm still paying $5 for 1 dozen of eggs. Those used to be $1.86 before what happened. I went to the gas station last night. Regular gas is at $2.98. My son's car uses the highest level, so that's past $3. And then inflation. Let's quit playing about inflation, sir. I don't know why they keep saying that. It has not helped them. They're lying, Zeus.
Oh.
They have not gone and bought anything because they have not even bought the sense they need to get over Donald Trump.
I
So
would
they're
like to
lying.
speak. I would
Go.
like to speak on the gas. I would
Okay.
like to. So gas is down. Here's why gas is down. And the gas that's down is not the type of gas they're thinking. The gas that's down, Rolaids, Tums, Pepto-Bismol, they took care of that problem. That gas is down, but we need petroleum to come down. We need
Thank you.
refined gas that we put in vehicles. We need that to come down. See, because you Trump supporters are so full of hot air, you not farting all over the place, so you think gas is down. You think gas is down.
Hilarious.
But you don't even think gas is down because you know it's not. You're just sitting here, you lying because you have nothing to stand on. You can't stand 10 toes down and defend this man because he is indefendable.
Well, gas.
Yes, I made up my own word.
Yeah, that's good though. They do it all the time.
Yeah, gas actually went up 20 cents overnight in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Wow.
Val, you are such a liar. Why are you saying that, Val?
Because it did.
Say it again, Val. Say it a little
20
louder for the
cents.
people in the back.
20 cents.
Wow.
It actually made news.
Say it for the people with the extra wax in their ear. That
Somebody said yes, it did. Same in New Jersey. So and $50 for a large carton of eggs. So whoever is out there spreading that lie that Donald Trump delivered on the eggs and inflation and gas, I just want you to know you're lying, and maybe you didn't know you're lying, but whoever gave you that information, they were lying to you. That's not true. I just wanted to make sure. Yes.
I live in the state of Missouri, and I will tell you, I live 2 miles from a Costco. So I get all of my gas from Costco. All right. And I get premium in my car, and I pay $3.22 for premium. And we know the state of Missouri is not one of the highest states. We know this.
Yeah.
But I'm paying $3.22 for premium at Costco. And we know Costco gas is going to be cheaper.
Yeah, and I'm in California. I drove past it, and over $5.16 for the basic stuff. $5.16, and I said, "Good Lord, this is a lot of money." And I almost went into there like I did with the eggs. And I told you I went to the store and I said, "Listen, Donald Trump said these eggs should only be 37 cents." and I played the clip, and then they told me he was lying, and I looked like the biggest fool. I was about to do the same thing about the gas. I said, it's supposed to be $1.97. This has to be a crime, what you're doing.
Well, you know, I live in the most racist state that you could ever live in. You know, our governor keep wearing them knit suits. She keep pulling out her shiffer robe. You know, she saying nothing too high for a high stepper, but she's stepping real low because she barely is walking, and that's Kay Ivey. You know, I live in the deep state of Alabama, who's, you know, all the way red, and nothing down here is anything, not even education. You know, we're at the bottom of everything, and our gas is high. And our taxes on our food is high. Just cut the tax out, Kate.
Now, before we wrapped up this show, because we covered a lot of territory, we've just basically annihilated all the lies about the economy. Now, I got to ask a serious question, and we all should take turns answering it, but I'll start with the panel. With all that happening and our pockets are bleeding like they've never bled before, how do you feel knowing that Donald Trump wants to take this $400 million jet while we suffer? How does that make y'all feel? Because I know the Trump supporters won't be honest.
Well, I'll go ahead and start because I have only not just 2 hours before I'm officially on vacation and not going to be on TikTok at all. So I have like a very good message that I think will make you feel good after I answer your question. But how does it make me feel? It makes me feel as though we're violating all of the rules and regulations that have been in place within our country, and it's just not okay. We're ignoring the checks and balances as we've seen with this administration do since day one. We're ignoring the articles that designate specifically what the powers of each branch of government are. And we're making it all okay by taking a very large bribe that's going to cost the taxpayer even more money, even though he says it's going to be free, guys. It's free.
Yeah.
They're not charging us anything for it. But as everybody eloquently already stated, Val and Dr. Nutty, Professor Nutty, Pauly, how much money it's actually going to cost us in the long run. But I will say my good friend, Lala, she actually messaged me since I've been up here. And she knows that I'm going on vacation. And she wanted to say that being on your panel is like a vacation of sorts because of how you run it and keep it so clean and calm.
Oh, Lala, thank you. Well, you know, it's not just me, but it's a community effort, right? I mean, I'm just kind of the facilitator at this moment. But yeah, I do think it's important when we talk, people be able to hear, right? I mean, and then, you know, I know a lot of us, we have various hats we wear, some professional, some, you know, in our communities, you know, we got children that look up to us, and you just got to keep it clean, seriously. But did you want to say, is it a staycation or is it a real vacation, Ari? Because 2 weeks, that's a long time, and I don't know if you got that many hours saved up before you can go and do that. You know, this is business.
It's just for the 1 week. We'll be back on Monday, but probably won't be back on lives until Tuesday. Just depends on how things go. But yeah, no, it's a real vacation. We're leaving home and going to.
You don't gotta say.
Time not home.
Thank you, because you gotta. Thank you. You gotta take care of yourself and keep it safe because there's haters out here. But yeah, that's what I like to hear. It's very important we get the truth out here, but we also take good care of ourselves personally off the app and live our lives. All right, Ari, Pauly. See you, Ange. How do you feel knowing Donald Trump is flying around trying to get this $400 million jet from Qatar, and he's also asking you to take a pay cut and suffer while he's, you know, doing what he does? How does that make you feel?
This the thing about the airplane is the amount of money that airplane costs is almost laughable for the amount of compared to the amount of money that is being taken from middle and lower class people in America to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking at $4.5 trillion that Donald Trump is trying to take away from social safety nets, from the poorest, from the most vulnerable, from the people that need it the most in this country right now, and trying to give it to rich people. And while this, you know, this airplane, of course, is easy to talk about, and it's, you know, it's a horrible thing, and no president should ever do that. Like I said, I don't want to get so lost in the airplane that we forget that is a distraction from the money that is being taken away from the most vulnerable in this country, from the rights that are being taken away from the most vulnerable in this country, from the congressional bills that are being passed to strip the rights away from immigrants, from children, from women, from, you know, people of color. I don't want to lose sight because of these grandeur gestures
Yeah.
on the real focus, and that is Donald Trump is not good for America. He is using his power to enrich his rich friends at the expense of the rest of us. And we need to make sure that we're standing up, we're fighting, and we're making sure that that is our big message going in. Because if we don't do something coming up with midterms next year, then we're going to be in for years and years more of this. And I don't know if our country can, financially or mentally sustain that kind of that kind of pain. So yeah, while the plane is horrible and it's a great word to start, and of course it should piss off every single one of us. Let's not over focus on it. Let's make sure that we're there and we're pushing for the rights and being what America's supposed to be, right? The land of
Amen.
we're supposed to take in the weak, the poor, the suffering. That this is what we're supposed to be for, to care for each other, and we're not doing a really good job at that right now.
Amen. Amen. All right, Holly Politics took time out of his busy morning to come up here and give us those nice words of encouragement and to help us keep our eye on the prize, my brother. Thank you.
Y'all have a good one. By the way, best panel I've ever been on. This is awesome. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys all later. I'm out of here too.
All right. Stay safe, whatever you're doing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is amazing. I mean, what a great show. Today is what, Wednesday? I didn't think this was going to happen on Wednesday. Val, how do you feel? I mean, the question I'm asking everyone is, how does it make you feel watching Donald Trump try to get this $400 million gift while at the same time telling us Americans to suffer?
Well, the thing about this is, and I'm going to kind of spin this a little bit.
Fair enough.
The thing about this is if Congress, this is the thing, just like the Statue of Liberty, if Congress would have said, and it went through Congress and said, you know what, this is actually okay, we're going to give it to the Department of Defense, we're going to let them figure out what the best use of this gift is. You know what I'm saying? If Congress agrees to that, this would have been okay and could have actually been a win.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really think about it, if you'd have played it like that, it could have actually been a win, something that the Department of Defense didn't have to spend money on, a gift from another country, to be used for some sort of purpose, and that could have been done by Congress as well.
Yeah.
That would have been an actual win. Instead, what we have is somebody trying to find a way to subvert the rules of the Constitution to try to make this his own property. That is really what we're looking at.
Wow. Corruption. They want us to be fall in line so that he can just do whatever he wants and violate the Constitution. It makes me angry, Val, to be honest with you.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the whole point. I mean, quit subverting the Constitution. The rules are there for a reason. The President of the United States is not supposed to enrich himself through the office. And that is what we're seeing. Y'all can go back and try to use Biden and Obama and Clinton and everybody you want to try to use for that. The thing is there is zero evidence that any of those presidents ever did anything like that. Matter of fact, the evidence is the opposite. The evidence is that they actually did disillusion themselves from all the, from all the businesses they were part of. They got out of it. They put boards in place to act on their behalf when they weren't there, but they had no control over anything. That is the proper way to do it. This man did not do it his first term as president, and he hasn't done it this term as president. He is still enriching himself from the American taxpayer.
Wow.
In the end, that is what's happening. And if you don't understand that, I don't know how you can be helped.
Tell him, Val. All right. Well, W Val in the chat. We don't like it. I love it. We got to get this out here because MAGA could never say this. What you're saying, Val, MAGA could never say that in the cult. I want you to know that. So enjoy. All right. The fact that you have freedom to say those kind of things, because they would be totally annihilated in the cult if they said that. Takesha, how do you feel about Donald Trump trying to get this $400 million jet and asking you to take cuts, in whatever it is you're doing?
Let me say this about Mr. I, me, and my, because that's what he is. It's all about him. Project 2025 wanted this. They wanted Donald Trump to be able to do whatever he wanted to do, and nobody could do anything about it. That was the whole purpose of Project 2025. We are living in the Project 2025 era. Congress acts as though they're afraid to say anything about him, anything against him, to do anything or tell him that he's wrong. And this is where we are, Zeus. It doesn't matter who gives him a gift. It doesn't matter who gives him money. It doesn't matter how many deals he makes. It doesn't matter how many backdoor deals he makes. If Congress is not going to hold him accountable, what can the American people do? If MAGA is not going to see anything wrong with it, we don't even have people to join us to fight the fight. Because they just sitting back thinking that Donald Trump is this perfect being, and it's okay for him to enrich himself, and it's okay for him to get a plane. Nobody's like the president this much that they wanted to give him a plane. They see this as a flex, Zeus. But they don't see the real danger in letting this man be around with no guardrails.
Thank you.
The man just does what he wants to do. Who approved these people to come over here as refugees?
I didn't.
Who, Zeus?
They had to have paid for it. They had to have done something with that
That's
crypto.
my whole point. You're taking money and doing what you want to do with it without Congress approving it. So guess what we don't need? A Congress. Because if he's not going to do anything Congress says, if he's not going to do anything the Constitution says, if he's not going to obey the Supreme Court, we might as well get rid of the other two branches and just let him just be
Wow. Wow. I
He
mean,
just willy-nilly it.
I mean, when you're right, you're right. You know, as much as I don't even want to have to admit that, but it seems just like that's what's happening, right? They're letting him do whatever he wants to do. He gets to go lift sanctions whenever he wants to, supposedly.
And Zeus, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to be done.
Okay.
I want to be a dictator day one. Day one has turned into over 100 days. You are a dictator. And MAGA doesn't see it or anything. No, they don't see it. The man is running the country as he pleases. But I told y'all, I'm going to say it again.
Go ahead.
We are his retribution.
Yep.
He's tearing the country down. He's mad because we rejected him in 2020. They've been coming up with this plan all along. Atlanta, J.D. Vance is somewhere, and he really doesn't know what's going on. He's just going along. Caroline levered up that line. Some of the woman at the library got fired because she was putting inappropriate children books when children can't even go in the library. She don't even know what the Library of Congress is. These people don't know. But Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, I told y'all, it speaks about all of this.
Yeah.
And the Bible just being fulfilled.
Amen.
I'm going to leave it at that.
All right, W. Takesha. Diaba, how are you?
I'm good.
How does it make you feel? I mean, the question, I know you know it, but watching him try to get this $400 million jet and then asking you to suffer.
Yeah, I find it disgusting.
Yeah.
To be completely honest. I find it deplorable that he's taking this $400 million plane when 13.7 million people in this country are facing losing their health care that's being voted on in Congress right now. The neediest, the poorest, the people who need it the most, children, elderly, the people who are going to suffer are going to be the least of these that the Bible tells us to protect. And there's nothing Christian-like about Donald J. Trump or any of his MAGA minions. Not a thing, because there's nothing Christ-like about him. And what I find disgusting as well is that, you know, I have a child that has autism. They're talking about putting my kid on a registry. Nowhere in history has people been put on a registry ever ended up good. So all this nonsense with a stupid plane that he doesn't need, by the time that plane's done being retrofitted, those other Boeing planes are supposed to be done. They said by 2028, 2029.
Yeah.
That's the same timeline for this plane. So it's just a way for him to fleece America for more money. That's all it is, because he wants to take it with him. He thinks that he's going to be some, you know, superstar. He's setting himself up and his family for the rest of his life so they can have legacy wealth. While we suffer, while our kids lose our benefits, while our elderly lose their benefits, this is going to close hospitals. This is going to close elder care centers. The people are going to suffer. And MAGA won't see it till it happens to their family. And they won't care until it happens to their family. Until it directly affects them, they don't care. They're perfectly happy as long as it's going to harm someone else. But the moment it touches their front door is when they're going to start to care. And until then, they won't see it. They don't care. They think that he's a baller. Oh, he's so awesome. Everybody loves him. No, this is all about power and money. And they're not giving him anything for free because we will never know probably what he promised them or what he's already gave them.
Bingo.
So he's selling us out part by part, bit by bit, and they don't care. And we need to vote out every single person in Congress that's doing nothing. We may not have the majority. We may not have to be able to get anything passed, but they should be putting up articles of impeachment every day. They should be putting up bills that they know will never get passed. And even if Mike Johnson won't put it up, when it's their turn for their 2 minutes, get up and say what you're going to say. Say what he's doing. Say what's, get up and speak.
Yeah.
They're worried about decorum, and they're worried about rules, and they're worried about all of those things. And those are out the window. They're gone. They're wanting to play by the old rules of the 80s and 90s that are gone.
Yeah.
This man has dismantled everything that we know. So every time there's a camera in a Democrat's face, they don't need to be talking about the plane. They don't need to be talking about any of that. They need to be talking about what he's doing criminally.
Thank you.
Every single day.
Amen. But now I also see that you have a hater in here. Is there anything you want to say to your haters in here, Diava? Because it's very important they know you either see them or you don't. You don't have to if you don't want to, because I could say it.
Oh, I see them, but I simply don't care. Because
now you take that to the bank and you go cry in your corner, all right? You can sit here and try to act like you're saying something, but nobody cares. All right, thank you, Diava. Again, Nutty, the question is, how do you feel about Donald Trump making you suffer while he gets to ride around flying high like Ric Flair?
Okay, so first of all, thank you for this time, Zeus.
Yeah.
I want to piggyback just a little bit before I answer your question on what Takesha stated. So we know we have a fan that comes in here, Asler, and Takesha, to add on, you called Donald Trump a dictator.
Oh.
So that's why Asler likes Trump, because Trump is a dictator, and he wants that dictator to come call his Asler. So anyway, I'm just going to move on now. So TikTok, this is for educational purposes only.
Y'all quit clapping out there. Y'all quit clapping out there. That keep it clean, Nutty.
And my comment is coming with a trigger warning. I that's the warning. TikTok, this is for educational purposes.
He lives up to his name, folks. Come on, we got to understand. He lives up to his name.
So I want to apologize to the ladies. So again, this is a trigger warning. I'm not making light of this. This is how I truly feel. Zeus, to answer your question, I'm starting to feel as though we are getting a taste of what women go through when they're great. The feeling of not being able to do anything about it. The feeling of being violated. And I'm sorry to bring the temperature down for a moment, but that's how I feel right now. And as men, we don't know what it's like when these ladies go through that. But if I could only imagine if this is just a taste of the feeling that they have, it's a horrible feeling. And so, ladies, as a man, I apologize to you that you have to go through any of this crap. But to bring it back to Donald Trump, I feel like he's graping this country. And because we don't have elected officials that has, and I'm going to reference our friend Swervin, the testicular fortitude to stand up and call him what he is and say, devil, get behind me and get under my feet. Because he is the devil. He has sold. He's not selling. He has sold us out to the highest bidder.
Wow.
And I'm afraid of what he's still selling over in Qatar as we speak on this app right now. But Polly said it best. Let's not continue to focus on the plane. Because if you notice, Zeus, every single time something big like this comes out, what are they doing in the background in Congress? They're taking yet another right. They're canceling yet another treaty. They're doing something else behind the scenes that's not going to make the news because we're talking about this $400 million plane. It is all distractions.
Yep.
It is all a distraction. But Polly said it best, and I keep preaching it the same as well. If we do not get out next year and vote, I don't care if someone has a D next to their name, if they are not doing what they are supposed to be doing as an elected official, vote their butts or vote Asler out of office. I'm keeping it clean.
I see what you did.
Yeah, I'm keeping it clean.
I see
but
what you
vote
did.
them out of office. I don't care if they have a D next to their name. Vote them out. Because if we're going to save this nation, if we are going to live by the rule of law, this supposed moving document that we call the Constitution of the United States of America, we have to hold this man accountable.
Tell him.
Where's Al Green? Bring Al Green to the forefront. Al Green is talking impeachment. Jasmine Crockett, bring her to the forefront. These people are talking impeachment. AOC. But if Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and I love Hakeem Jeffries, if they're not going to stand up, the old guards of the Democratic Party, if they're not going to stand up 10 toes down with their chest out and say, we have to impeach this tyrant, vote them out too. Thank you for the time, Zeus.
W Nutty. Nice to see you. Oh, you talking to Yazzie? All right. Well, listen, that's Nutty. Hello, Yazzie. I know you wanted to come up here, and you said you wanted to talk to us about the South African refugees.
Yes. Well, not those refugees, but I just I had realized that our fertilizing company actually hires, they have about 30 that they have bought from South Africa. I actually have my own spray truck. I have my own equipment. So all they do is bring me the chemicals for my fertilizers or any of my pesticides, whatever I need. So I don't actually hire them for that. But I had been on a Spanish speaking live because they're very incensed. They're like, so these people, they don't have to prove that they actually are being what we call political asylum or that they're being refugees or starving to death, but they're going to get a road to citizenship really quick. But we who have been here, who are under dictatorships, who are under suffering, Venezuelans, all kinds of things, they don't. But, they're the wrong color. I just want to say, do you know Ukrainians and Russians who were trying to leave the war? They didn't even get this. And they're in war. And Ukrainians didn't even get this path to, citizenship or
That's
this,
interesting.
free card. And they're actually, blue-eyed and the blondes, like the little mustache person likes, okay? Yeah. So it's funny how. So back to the South Africans. So I had heard on a live, there's another good friend of mine that their big corporation has hired some of them, and one of them had a bad experience that his pickup was shot up. Well, I'm just saying, they're colonizers. They're taking territory from black farmers. I mean, they own most of this territory, and they think, oh, there's so much racism. No. They're the races that took away the land from from the Africans, okay? So I don't buy that. But the people so I started calling my cousins who actually do have the sprayers. I talked to 6 people yesterday. They're like, no, they're excited to be here. The ones that do get the work visas.
Yeah.
And then they just go back because they get $1 equals 18 plus rand, and their rand is their dollar.
Oh,
they
really?
get $18 for trade. So they can like buy up more. I mean, they're trying to make it all white down there in South Africa. So
Wow.
but you know what they told my cousins? They were just so surprised that Mexicans like us could own so much land and could be such big farmers. And we're like, but we've always been here. This was the border crossed us.
Thank
we didn't
you.
cross the border.
Thank you.
So I just want to tell you, they're not, and even the South African government came out and made a statement. They're not suffering any type of what did they call it, like white discrimination or trying to genocide on them. No, they're fine. That you go to a foreign country and somebody might pickpocket you. That's going to happen in any foreign country. But none of those South Africans are coming because they're escaping something. Okay,
They just
wanted
to bring them over here so that they can, pull over, do the thing, make some money off of them, obviously, and take advantage of Americans like you and I. Isn't that something?
And Elon Musk, that's where Elon Musk's from. And remember, Elon Musk's dad said, "Hey, my son, it can't be racist because he has black servants." Okay, remember that's what Elon Musk's dad was quoted saying. Okay.
Wow!
Okay?
Wow!
And he got along with all the black servants.
Wow!
They were his friends.
Wow!
Go Google is free, everyone. I mean, I can tell you which page the interview's there. So please, people.
They said they've seen it. No, they said they've seen it. And we take your word. You don't get up here and spread lies. So it's just another example of how hypocritical these Trump supporters are. W, Yazzie. All right, now listen, all of you. Big Zeus has to run, all right? But did we cover everything? Did you get it all out?
I was in my private account, but I don't think you guys can see me, so I came back on this other open account. So okay, thank you guys. Yeah, I know for some reason. No.
I think we can see you. I think your accounts are working. It's just sometimes the chat might be moving so fast, so I always don't see what's in the comment, to be honest. Because when I get to cooking and booking up here, Big Zeus just starts going, and it's just me and the person in the boxes. All right, but I appreciate you, all of you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give the panelists another huge round of applause. This was an incredible. You're welcome. Thank you, everyone. This was an incredible show, ladies and gentlemen. But Big Zeus has to get up out of here. I love you all so much, but unfortunately, I have other affairs to tend to. I want to give a special round of applause to all of you in the audience. Thank you to all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. Because honestly, without you, this show wouldn't be as incredible as it is. But then you know what I also have to do? I got to give another round of booze and shame, because we got to do the Lake of Fire one more time. To all of the MAGA demons who tried to climb Mount Olympus today and faced judgment, as well as all of you, the Zeus haters out there, who continue to suffer in the name of Donald Trump and hope and prayer that one day he might take you on that golden aircraft, the palace in the sky. You're just going to suffer. You're willing to do anything, roll around in the mud, let him do whatever he wants to do, and, with no shame, no dignity at all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send them straight to hell one last time. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care. Stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. We are out of here. What a great show. Y'all know I was supposed to get out of here 30 minutes ago, but y'all did an excellent job holding me up. The show's supposed to only do an hour. Okay, maybe an hour and a half, but after that I gotta get up out of here. W, everyone. I love you all. I didn't know it was gonna turn into this. W. Thank you, Greg. Have a great rest of your morning. Called Connecting the Dots. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate you too, Ralph, aka conservative Democrat. It's funny you're still here after you've been crying because you said the people in the chat beat you up. Well, if you weren't lying so much, conservative Democrat, you wouldn't get beat up like that. W. Zena Smith. Somebody said FDT and MAGA. W. Reggie. I see you, Q-Dog, brother. Keep up the great work, Ave. All right, let's do some drill, baby, drill, and then we are out of here, ladies and gentlemen.
Kamala Harris's war, Pennsylvania. Left marches.
We're going to do some drill, baby, drill, and we're out of here.
And we will frack, 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 and drill, baby, drill. Drill, baby, drill. We're going to be drilling so deep. We're going to be, for these guys, we're going to drill. We're going to take out so much money. We're going to pay down our debt. We're going to lower your taxes to insane asylum.
Okay.
You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're going to frack, frack. Drill, there's a frack, frack, frack. There's a baby, there's a lots of energy. This is what she's going to pay. You know she's going to make it. Right? Up from there, she was against fracking, against all the stuff. And then all the stuff, we want all the stuff. And then all of a sudden, everybody here to have
Hey, what did she say?
She said, I like fracking very much. Look, they always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it.
She's a radical. You're a radical. You're a radical.
And we will frack, 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 and drill, baby, drill. We're gonna be drilling so deep. We're gonna be for these.
Let's go.
We're gonna drill. We're gonna take out
so much money. We're gonna pay down our debt. We're gonna lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums.
You know they go crazy when I say
the late great Hannibal. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack, frack, frack.
Drill, baby, drill, like it's Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill, we're gonna drill, baby, drill, we're gonna drill, like it's Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill, we're gonna drill, baby, drill, we're gonna drill, like it's Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill, we're gonna
Here
drill,
goes.
baby, drill, like it's Hannibal Lecter.
What are we gonna do?
Asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, they do?
They say, why would
you mention Hannibal Lecter? Why would you mention Hannibal Lecter?
We're gonna lower your taxes.
That's
deep insane asylum.
That part?
You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Drill, 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 baby, drill, 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 baby, drill.
Hey, Tiny Tank Top Tim, Tom, you did a great job changing your name. You're gonna get far like that, trust me. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. See, I make them go crazy. You don't though. Hey, like it's Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter time. We're gonna lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say. How much do you owe on that? Okay, don't worry. Tiny Tank Top Tim, he ain't got the money. I got the money, baby. And guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pay off all your debt. Oh, Tiny Tank Top Tim, Tom? Oh, he can't lower your taxes, but guess what? Big Zeus can, all right? Because guess what? What are we gonna do next? Oh, Tiny Tank Top Tim, Tom, he can't do it like I do it. We're gonna lower those taxes, and then we're gonna drill, baby, drill, and then you know what? There's so much liquid gold underneath your feet. After all of that, it's gonna be a little fracking, all right? But you gotta keep it clean. Goodbye, Tiny Tank Top, Tim Tom.